Meet one today. Your family don't want you to be successful. They just want you to be safe. Now, this might trigger some people, but if you're someone who has grown up with a family that don't have much money, maybe you've grown up on a council estate like me, if you're somebody who has ever felt that every time you've had like an idea, or you want to grow a business, or you want to invest in a course, or a coach, or a mentor, if you've ever had that conversation with your family, and their initial response is, why would you want to do that? That's stupid, that's a waste of time, go to uni, get a proper job, then this video is for you. Now, when I started out in coaching, I went back to front. I was working a full-time job, and then I started doing some online coaching on the side of that, just because I love the gym, I love fitness, I love nutrition, I wanted to teach people some stuff. And I was charging people literally like, well, at first it was free, and then after the first few clients were free, it was £35 a month for online coaching. So, you know, I wasn't earning any money from this, I was literally just getting some experience. I think at the time I had like a handful of clients, I was probably earning about £150, £160 a month, something like that. And I told my mum about it. She was like, oh, okay, that's cool, that's interesting. Like, in her mind, she's thinking, oh, great, you know, he's got a stable job, which was paying me awfully, by the way. But my old job, per year, when I say this, people like, no one ever believes me, but per year, per calendar year, I was literally earning like £15,000, which I'm pretty certain is literally below minimum wage, at least in 2025 anyway. But back then, maybe it wasn't, I don't know, but it was really bad. Like, I don't know why I put up with it. So anyway, I'd been working there for a few years, and I was scrolling online one day, as you do, and I just saw this course to become a personal trainer. I thought, you know what, I may as well just become qualified and like actually go work in the gym. So I was literally doing a chess session, because back then I was literally just like, I don't know, I was just doing chess by itself, this was many years ago. And this guy rings me, and he's like, oh, you're right, I've just seen that you've clicked on this link online, I'm wondering if I can even enroll for the course. I was like, yes, sweet, let's do it. I've got ADHD, I was very impulsive, so anyway, I signed up with him on the call, and I literally paid him £1,400 for a PT course, which I'm pretty certain you can get for way cheaper. But I paid him £1,400 for a PT course, literally over the phone, gave my details, job done, goodbye. And I went home and I told my mum, and I was so excited, I could not wait to tell my mum. And her eyes just, she went red in the face. She was like, what are you doing? You're an idiot. Why have you done that? Why have you spent all your money on a PT course? Why can't you just have a stable job? There's no money in personal training, da 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 da. And then I told my brother, and he was kind of like, oh wow, kind of like raised eyebrows, like, all right, fair enough. And as I'm going through these like qualifications, I decided, because my full-time job, I started at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I started at 3. Sorry, I finished at 3. So what I do is, I made a decision. I was going to wake up at 5 a.m, which at the time was alien to my family. I was going to wake up at 5 a.m, bearing in mind this is through winter, so it's like pitch black outside, it's freezing cold. I'd go downstairs, I'd sit at my laptop, I'd study for an hour, okay, and then check in with a couple of clients. I'd quickly grab a bite to eat, and then I'd zoom off to work to make sure I was there before 7. I'd do that, I'd then finish work, I'd have another meal, I'd wait a little bit for it to digest, I'd drive 25 minutes to a bodybuilding gym, I'd train at a bodybuilding gym called King's Gym in Croydon, I'd then come back, I'd have my next meal, which is about 5:30, 6 at this point, I'd study for another hour, and I'd then shut everything down, and that would be my day. And honestly, looking back, I almost forget the fact that it's a 14-hour day in terms of like the studying, the working, the gym, back and studying more. Like, I forgot that I was doing 14-hour days because I was so deeply in love with what I was doing. Now, fast forward 8 years, and I'm currently sat in Dubai, and next week we're going to be putting on our first ever CEO event for our coaches, and those coaches are any of our clients who are currently earning anything more than £7,000 per month from coaching. We've actually got some attendees that have recently hit 9, 10, 12, even 15k months without team, without any staff, without any paid advertisement, nothing like that. Like, literally, these guys have done this from like the bare bone, basic, organic stuff. We're going to be teaching them how they can expand that, right? So, just for you guys who have kind of sat there trying to do some maths on that, you know, we've had clients who have worked with us who have turned over £200,000 in one calendar year without any staff, which absolutely blows my mind. Anyway, the reason I'm saying this to you is because all of them would have had some kind of conversation with their mum or their dad or their partner or whatever at some point, telling them about they're investing in a PT course or they're investing in a mentor or whatever. And so often, because of the way that society is set up, your mum, your dad, your friends, your family, they just want you to be secure, they want you to be safe, and they want you to have a stable job, because that would make everyone else happy, knowing that they don't have to worry about you. Because as soon as you become an entrepreneur and as soon as you set up your own business, there is a whole cascade of things that could go wrong. You know, realistically, with doing what I do, there could be a morning where I wake up one morning and suddenly you know, your dog's sick, your girlfriend's going to break up with you, you had 6 of your clients message you or email you and say that they need to leave, you had someone post something really shitty about you online, and for whatever reason today is the day that you just suddenly picked up flu. And you're expected to show up as normal for your clients, check in with these guys, hype them up, help them out, be there for them, jump on calls, despite all of this other shit going on around you. And that is the downside to being an entrepreneur. That's the side that your family assume is going to be like every single day. Now the upsides are that you get to travel the world and have freedom, choose when you work, how you work, who you work with, earning incredible money, changing people's lives. But the reason that your family don't want you to be successful, it's not that they don't want you to be successful, and it's not that they don't want you to be happy, because of course they do. It's that they're petrified that shit might go wrong. Because I'm going to give you a little bit of news right now that a lot of people don't recognise. Over 60% of personal trainers and online coaches quit in their first year. Okay? Over 60%. Imagine that. Imagine you saw 100 people in a room, 100 coaches who want to grow their business, and after 1 year there's only 40 people left in the room because the other 60 are fucked up. How insane is that? Absolutely mental. And the reason for that, because it's not easy. It's very, very simple, but it's also very hard. The reason it's very hard is because so many of us have to unlearn so much before we start being coached. I'll be frank. I've worked with some coaches and it's been so unbelievably, almost painfully easy to help them earn more money. It has. I'm not going to bullshit you. I'm not going to sit here and lie and try and make it sound like, oh, you know, well, it's quite tricky and are you ready for this? Sometimes it's been piss easy. But the reason it's been piss easy is because their mindset and their environment was set up to allow that to happen. The times where it's incredibly difficult is when coaches have maybe a partner that doesn't believe in them, or friends that don't believe in them, or their mum and their dad that don't believe in them. And the key point that I want you to take away from this is that ultimately, nobody, not even your coach or your mentor, although if you hire a fantastic one, you would assume that they should at least be close to it, but nobody is ever really going to truly understand the inner depths, the workings of you, of your motivations, of your why, of your internal drivers, and exactly why it is you decided just to take a risk and fucking go all in with this shit. And you know what? I can tell you right now, from the guy that had pushback from his family, from the guy that had pushback from his friends, from the guy that went into work when I was working as a greenkeeper and literally had people like laugh in my face and say to me, why would you want to do that? What a stupid job. That's never going to work out. There's no money in that. And I'll never forget it when I left. One of them was a little bit crappy to me, I guess, when I left. And kind of went, well, he said to me, I was like, I'll see you in 12 months. I played golf with this guy a few weeks ago. Hadn't seen him in 7 years. I didn't tell him a thing about my business. I kept my mouth shut. We actually had a really lovely conversation and he's an incredible human being. But I came away from that and thought, it's actually really nice that I've got to a place whereby I had a bit of a chip on my shoulder at first, but now I don't care. And the reason I don't care is because I've recognised that those kind of doubts and worries and fears of other people are just them projecting things onto you. Doesn't mean you have to absorb it, doesn't mean you have to believe it. I mean, take it from me. I'm not the most intelligent person in the world. I was the naughty kid in school, I was constantly chucked out of class. I've been involved in way too much drinking, way too much gambling when I was younger. I was always getting myself into trouble. You know, I've had many a moment where I felt like quitting altogether. I've had many moments where I just didn't think it was physically possible for someone to earn decent money from my coaching. I mean, let's put it this way. I remember when I met some of the PTs at Puritan back when I was working there, and one of the guys there who his biggest passion was people, but he also loved money. He always talked about people and money. And I remember him just showing me his paycheck and said, would it offend you if I showed you how much I earned last month? And I thought, what a strange question, but screw it, why not? And he showed me that he earned £4,500 from personal training. And I genuinely did not believe that was physically possible. At first I doubted him and I pushed back and said, no way, how could you be doing that? Because you've got to remember, guys, that for pretty much my entire life up towards that point, I've been earning anywhere between about £1.5 to £2,000 a month. To me, being rich was £3,000. So to know that someone was earning 4.5, I'm like, this guy's earning over £50,000 a year teaching people how to exercise. What the hell? Now I know that there are online coaches that can do that in a month. It's mental. So guys, just know, your family love you, but sometimes, well, all of the time, the number one thing that they want for you is for you to be happy and for you to be safe. And the reality is, if I turn this camera around, if I'd have listened to everyone who said, George, you just need to be happy, you just need to be safe, I would not be able to wake up to this every single morning, record content, sit down there at the pool, brainstorm some ideas, and then be able to come up here and talk to you guys about how you can grow your business. So guys, I hope it's been a helpful video today. If you enjoy these, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. I checked on our latest video, 92% of you guys have not subscribed. So please go and smash the subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care, much love, peace.